And on top of this edition of the news, we are going to tell you about a controversy that's playing out in the CBSE. And for scores of students, Class 12 board results are not just about marks on a screen. They decide colleges, they decide careers and also futures. But days after the CBSE declared its results, a growing number of students are now asking a simple question. Where did our marks go? This is a controversy that centers around the CBSE's new digital on-screen marking system, or the OSM. Now, under the OSM, which answer sheets were scanned and checked digitally this year, the CBSE says that the system is fair and is absolutely transparent. But many students, especially from the science stream, claim that their marks are far lower than they accepted. And also, they do not match the performance through the year. So the biggest concern that has come from the students of the physics stream, where only 96 students crossed the 100 marks or the full score mark. There's another question that is triggering anger. There is an RTI that has revealed that CBSE collected over 23 crore rupees last year through rechecking and re-evaluation related fees. Now, students have to pay 700 rupees just to access their scan answer sheets. For 500, they have to pay 500 rupees for verification and 100 rupees per question for re-evaluation. Even if a mistake is found, there is no refund. So the CBSE says with over 1.25 crore answer sheets being evaluated, some errors are possible and that the review system exists to protect students. That is why students and parents are also asking, should children have to pay to correct the system's mistakes?
Since CBSE released its Class 12th result on May 13, multiple students have come forward with their apprehensions against the new on-screen marking system. What they're also raising are their doubts regarding the results that they've received. Most of them have to say that the numbers and the marks that they've received in this year's board examination are much lower and not in tandem with their academic track record right from Class 10th. Students are specifically raising issues with physics, biology, as well as the subject of mathematics, saying that these are the subjects wherein they feel harsh marking or even inaccurate marking as far as their previous academic record is concerned has been done.
Under the OCM system, answer sheets are scanned and digitally assessed, replacing the traditional physical checking of the copies. Students claim that the transition may have impacted the accuracy.
My name is Parth Elawat, and I just got my result of Class 12 CBSE board exam. And as per the results, I'm not really that much satisfied about the CBSE checking part. I really prepared very hard for the maths examination, and as per my thought, I was at least getting some around 50 marks out of 80. And I was very much confident about that part, but after seeing my results, I'm very disappointed by this part.
Faced the same issue in physics, as I'm from science stream. So like when I calculated my tentative marks, it was something else, and when I got my marks, actual marks, it was something else, and lower marks were being given to me. So like I'm dissatisfied.
This year, over 17 lakh students appeared for the Class 12 examination, with nearly 70,000 evaluators assessing close to 98 lakh answer scripts. The overall pass percentage stands at 85%, a decline of 3%, the sharpest drop in the last 7 years. The government has attributed the dip to a change in assessment patterns.
Some difference in the percentage of marks this time, as you mentioned, but then that is quite natural because all of you would be aware that this time the schema for assessment has changed. So it shows in the results, but then I don't think so that is the more important part. The more important part is that the examination results are out.
But experts warn that even a small percentage drop impacts lakhs of students, and variation is not uniform across states and subjects. CBSE data shows 1.6 lakh students have been placed in the compartment category, with nearly 36% from UP Bihar belt alone. Subject-wise data also shows sharp variation in the top scores across STEM subjects. Amid rising criticism on social media, CBSE has issued a clarification defending the OCM system, stating evaluators were trained to ensure accuracy and objectivity. Students can also apply for scanned copies and re-evaluation. Meanwhile, an RTI access by Times Now reveals CBSE earned over 23 crore rupees from re-evaluation related processes in the last academic year. Over 3 crore rupees came from providing photocopies of the answer sheets, while more than 20 crore rupees were collected through rechecking applications. Under the guidelines, students must first pay 700 rupees for a scanned copy, followed by 500 as a base fee for re-evaluation and 100 rupees per question. There is no refund even if errors are found.
See, re-evaluation is a big scam. Big scam. Now they've released the result. They know students will re-evaluate it. If you're not satisfied and they say, as per RTI Act, now we do it. बहुत अच्छी बात है. Last year I filed an RTI and you will see the figure which they collected was 23 crores for re-evaluation, paper applying and this. This year what they have done, 700 is for applying for a copy. Then a new thing has come up, 500 for issues, which was never there last year, and then 100 per question. And this time, seeing that dissatisfaction, science students they will have to do, because many have cleared JEE 99 percentile, they are not able to get 75% in boards, they will not be eligible for JEE now.
Over 30,000 of them have signed a petition in order for a fairer and a more economical measure of doing these revaluation of scripts. Students across India as well continue to in fact raise their voice against the kind of marks that they've received in the CBSE examinations. Only now the revaluation phase will tell whether or not that will be able to satisfy these students. With video journalist Dilip, this is Kritika Tiwari for Times Now.
Now, in response, the CBI has issued an official statement defending its evaluation process. The board has issued a statement on social media platform X while saying that this process that has created a controversy, which is the OSM or the on-screen marking system, was introduced to make the assessment more transparent. To get us more on this, my colleagues Kritika and Akanksha are joining us on this broadcast. While Kritika brought us that story, brought us the voices of the students, and we are also standing by for the CBSE's press briefing, which is scheduled at about 12:30 today. Let's go across to Akanksha, who has that post of the CBSE. Akanksha, a lot of questions were asked. Students are not very unhappy, are not very happy, I beg your pardon, after the results were declared. What does the CBSE have to say now when it comes to the OSM system?
Absolutely. In fact, big questions have been asked as far as the OSM, the new marking system, there is concerned. The CBSE has defended it. They have said that they have committed to the fair, transparent and evaluation. It has been observed that following the declaration of the CBSE Class 12th result, several posts have appeared on social media regarding the assessment under the on-screen marking. That is the OSM system, mainly in relation to the marks obtained by the students in physics, chemistry, biology and maths. The OSM system, they said, was introduced to enhance the transparency, fairness and consistency in the evaluation process by ensuring the stepwise marking, which has long been a feature of the evaluation framework. It goes on to say that another key feature of the system has been the opportunity afforded to the re-evaluation provided to the student who may be dissatisfied with the result. And accordingly, CBSE went on to say that this opportunity will be made available this year as well. Students may apply for the copies of the answer books, and in case of any loophole that they see, they may request for the action as well. And this process will then be undertaken by CBSE, is what they have mentioned so far. In fact, just a while back, Sagrika, stay on with us. Let me take our viewers through through another, in fact, post of CBSE in which they have also said that they are concerned about the well-being of the students there. That is the paramount importance, and therefore they have attempted to address all the possible issues which could arise. The key benefits of the OSM, they have said, as far as this is concerned, that is prepared by the experienced CBSE teachers. The marking scheme also contains the methods of answering, so that children who answer deploying alternative methods are also graded. So in a way, through several of the social media posts, the CBSE headquarters here, they have tried to defend the new marking system. They've also gone on to say that if somebody has any issue with the evaluation process, they can in fact go ahead with the re-evaluation process, is what CBSE had said so far.
All right, so the CBSE has issued a detailed statement trying to allay the concerns of the students and their parents. But Kritika, you've been talking to students, you've been talking to teachers. There's another factor that many are raising questions over is what the RTI has revealed. And the cost of this rechecking itself, the numbers that it has thrown up is also adding another layer to the ongoing debate. For viewers joining us on this broadcast, explain to them why questions are being raised on the cost of re-evaluation, the cost of rechecking, and why are there questions being raised on if there are discrepancies that are to be found, how there can be no refund that should be given.
Well, yes, these are the key factors that are currently being raised by the students. Now, for example, if a student has to now get 2 of their papers corrected, for example, maths and physics, the base cost of itself reaches about 3,000. And then it keeps on mounting with the number of questions that they, in fact, take up. What we're also trying to, in fact, report currently is also about how now with the OSM system, there is digital checking of these answer scripts. When the copies are already scanned by the examiners, then, of course, what the students are raising is that there is no reason for the 700 rupees to be paid just for, again, obtaining the scanned copy because it's already in the database. So these are these discrepancies which are currently being pointed out with the students. Of course, with social media also being a very daily part of these students' lives, it is taken by storm. About 40,000, in fact, nearly students have signed a petition as well online. Over to you, Sagarika.
All right, so the focus is on what the CBSE will say in its press conference today, and we are also standing by. The briefing is expected in moments from now. But there's another aspect of the story. One, obviously, is the new system, the new process of digitally checking the papers. The results are out, but the students are not very happy. But the CBSE is also changing the language rule book, and that's the second aspect of this story. The language rule book for students from July 1st, and students in class 9th and class 10th will have to study 3 languages. At least 2 of them must be Indian languages, while a foreign language can only be chosen as the third option. Now, the board has also announced that there will be no class 10 board exam for the third language with assessments kept internal. This is a big change that's coming as the CBSE is also moving to implement the National Education Policy 2020 and is pushing multilingual learning in schools. So yes, there are questions that are also being asked over the new language policy. But before that, let's explain more details of why this has created a controversy. So what is this new rule? What is the 3-language policy which is now being questioned? So as per the new rule, the CBSE's language reset says that 3 languages are now compulsory. Let's explain the other aspect in which 2 are supposed to be Indian languages and 1 foreign language which is going to be compulsory for students. Let's also tell you about more aspects of this rule, and this is a rule that will come into place from the 1st of July, and it is applicable. This becomes important. It is applicable for students who are studying in class 9 and in class 10, and there will be no board exam for the third language. So there is a push for languages, but there will be no board exam for the third language, and this assessment will be carried out internally. So these are the factors. Why has the CBSE done this? Because it comes under the new policy under NEP 2020. The focus is on multilingual learning. So this is why the CBSE has decided to do this language reset. 3 languages. And also, what is this new rule? Like we told you, this new rule says that 2 Indian languages and 1 language will be compulsory, and the new rule that will come into place from the 1st of July. So we've explained to you the CBSE's 3-language policy, and let's also tell you why this has become political. There is political resistance that's coming in, especially from the state of Tamil Nadu. As the board moves to make 3 languages compulsory for students of class 9 and class 10 from the 1st of July, the DMK, which is out of power right now, has made it clear that the state of Tamil Nadu will not accept this formula. Here are reactions coming in from the DMK.
No, they cannot change the system followed in Tamil Nadu. They may bring it anywhere, but not in Tamil Nadu. We have a system which we are strictly following. There is no question of 3-language formula in Tamil Nadu.
So from the CBSE, let's shift our focus to NEET, where the probe is on to find out who in the NTA, who is the insider who played a role in betraying more than 22 lakh students. So the case is now in the Rouse Avenue court. It has granted 14 days of custody to one of the accused, Manisha Gurunath Mandhare, and the custody has been given to the CBI. The CBI, meanwhile, says that the entire process of the NTA is under investigation. The accused also received money from students, and the CBI has said that this aspect has to be investigated. The Defence Counsel, on its part, opposed the remand application, saying that nothing has been recovered from the house of the accused, and she joined the investigation 2 times. She was in custody for 3 days, and she was apprehended at a hotel in Mathura. Going across to my colleague Bhavtosh, who's tracking all the details, is a huge embarrassment for the NTA, because now, as the investigation carries pace, increasingly the evidence and the line of investigation is pointing towards insiders in the NTA itself. The CBI has pointed to a larger conspiracy and this particular nexus. The CBI is questioning and is asking how the question paper may have been accessed just days before the exam and how it passed through multiple hands. What more are you tracking when it comes to the investigation, Bhavtosh?
As far as the investigation is concerned, Sagrika, around 3 days back, Times Now, in fact, broke the story that it is, in fact, an insider or within the system in NTA that is involved in this entire racket or leak of the exam paper. And CBI subsequently did inform the court that their investigation is pointing towards someone within the system who is involved in this leakage of the exam paper. And it is now more or less clear that not only those who have set up the question paper, but also someone within the system also leaked the question paper to Manisha Wagmare, and this happened around a week back. Now, the custody of other Manisha, that is Manisha Mandhare, has been taken by the CBI for 14 days, and CBI, while seeking her custody, did inform the court that the entire NTA process, not only those who had set up the question paper, but also NTA officials are also involved, or at least are subject matter of investigation. Huge embarrassment, not only for NTA, which prides itself as the biggest examination board in the country, but also for the government.
All right. And that is why there are questions that students are asking. They are questioning the education ministry and also the process that the NTA followed. Why were these leaks not plugged? Because this is not the first time. If year after year there is a leak mafia that is operating despite a law being in place and it is operating with impunity, then the questions will be asked. And now it is being said and it is being proven that it could have been the job of an insider. Do stay with us, Bhavtosh, because let's break down all the information that you've shared with us. Let's explain that graphically. We have inputs that the insiders in NTA leaked the paper on the 27th of April. The exam was on the 3rd. The NTA insider then gave the paper to Wagmare, who is one of the accused in the case. Wagmare then emerged as a common link between the others. Then you have more information on how there is the spotlight on the nexus, because Kulkarni, who's believed to be the alleged kingpin, was also roped in. And Wagmare then destroyed the NEET paper after the exam. So these are all the inputs that are being gathered on the insiders and their role. The CBI is investigating the nexus, and yes, the question is being asked, if this was an insider job, then who is to be blamed? So the CBI has so far made about 9 arrests in this case, and the focus is also on the core operatives of the paper leak network. Now we are going to talk about the core operatives. Who are they? Here we are talking about a PV Kulkarni, who is described as the alleged kingpin, who was part of the NTA panel that set the chemistry paper. The CBI says that he dictated the leaked questions to coaching students, charged lakhs and ran special classes. Then we are going to talk about the other character who has come to the fore, and this is a character known as Mandhare, Manisha Mandhare. She's been labeled as the alleged mastermind and was part of the botany paper panel and allegedly had access to papers. Let's once again tell you about how these insiders played this role of betrayal. They betrayed 23 lakh students, and they put the future of these students at stake. Why? For greed, for money. And the probe now is focused on their roles. Let's talk about Manisha Wagmare, co-accused in this particular case, who is allegedly believed to have been the facilitator, who's been arrested by the CBI. Manisha Mandare, alleged mastermind, who's part of the NTA panel that was setting up the botany paper, and the alleged kingpin of this entire scandal that has shocked the nation is this person believed to be Mr. P.V. Kulkarni, who was part of the NTA panel setting up chemistry paper. Now, all this information that we are bringing before you viewers is from the CBI's line of investigation and how the CBI is now looking at the insider job in this entire case. With that, there's more breaking news.